Okay, welcome everybody to Team Empower. The holiday season is upon us, and it is about to get crazy up in here. So we're excited to see you guys. We've made it through the holiday we just have Halloween. Made it through Halloween. Clearly, some of us did better than others. So thank you for being here, and thank you for watching the recordings. We're excited to talk to you guys tonight about one of the most important things you can do to move your business forward. So before we get started, Al, take it away with announcements.
Okay, so announcements today is that Get a Little Obsessed is going to be available again on demand starting November 14th, which is tomorrow, through Saturday the 19th. I guess that when they did the first live
streaming workout,
whatever. So eloquent. They had a rough time the first 2 days, and so they're doing it again. So if you would like to join in on that on demand, it is next week. So that's fun. I guess they say you need 3 set of loops, 2 sliders, and then your dumbbells.
And can I just say, it was a really fun workout. I totally liked it. I think I like Autumn more now. I didn't really care for her much before. I like her more now after these. I used dish towels on my tile for the sliders. And for the loops, I ended up just using like my green thigh toner from Chalene Extreme, because you can't get the thigh toners yet. Or you can just use weights and just kind of like fake it. So just throwing that out there. But they're fun workouts.
We should say that I just announced it in the grad group that was going on. We put that in the comments in there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then Double Time has been released. It was released already, so that was just part of the breaking news, just to remind you that it's been released. So that's something that I actually haven't tried this program yet, but I'm excited to try a few with my 8-year-old. I think he'll enjoy it. Let's see. And in leadership, they announced a new protein bar that's going to be released in 2018. 2 different flavors: peanut butter chocolate and chocolate cherry almond. So we don't know when, just in 2018.
I thought they said April, didn't they? Oh, no, maybe that was the to be mindset thing.
It says spring.
Okay.
So whatever spring is exactly.
Gotcha.
So then there's the to be mindset that's going to be released. It also just says 2018. It doesn't say spring. It just says 2018. And I also just posted the video of this in Team Empower, so you guys can watch it if you haven't, just a breakdown of what it is. And I think it seems amazing. I feel like the registered dietitian who's over the program really tries to focus on more than just food, but like the emotional part of losing weight, which I feel like a lot of our clients and us, like we can relate to that. So I feel like that's going to be another really great tool that we have to help our clients. So those are the main.
And that too is the thing that Jessica reached out to the dietitian about, to ask her a bunch of questions about the whole dietitian world connected to Beachbody and everything like that. She said she messaged her back, gave her lots of information. So she seems like a really cool, down-to-earth lady that put this together. And I'm excited to hear more from Jessica about what she had to say and kind of some insider stuff. So be on the lookout for that too.
So that's pretty much all the announcements. I want to just kind of map out the rest of the year for you guys, what we're doing, just so you guys have an idea of what we're doing. So copy us or don't, whatever you want. So we are right now running a free sugar challenge group in the community. And I had another coach message us on Strong Fit Mamas asking how we keep our communities different than our groups. How do you not turn it into a challenge group? And something that Lacey has said from the beginning is to make sure that you aren't coaching them one-on-one. Save that one-on-one coaching for the challenge group. So when we run a free group in the community, we make sure to not have them post individual check-ins, more just checking in on a main post for that day. If that makes sense what I'm saying. So anyways, after this week, we're going to announce our next challenge group, which is going to land between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So we're going to start the day after Thanksgiving, Friday, and use that weekend for our preseason, and then have 3 weeks of our challenge group, and it's going to end on December 23rd, right before Christmas. So that's how we're working in that. Be talking to people now, you guys, because come January, December is going to be rough. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, getting challengers in December is rough because people are spending money on Christmas, like, and they want to eat, right? And so getting challengers in December is a little rough, but you've got to start talking to people now because January is usually huge, is a big month. But if you haven't already talked to people, it's the people you've already talked to that end up joining you in January. So make sure that you're keeping up with your messages and keep up with your posting and exposing your journey now, because come January, that's when people are going to come and say that they're ready to recommit and join you and stuff like that. So don't give up on that. Shoot, there's something else I was going to say about December and Christmas. Oh, moderation. This is what I was talking to Sarah about earlier today. You might have an idea or something that might be a good idea. Instead of running a typical challenge group, you might call it like, let's focus on getting through the holidays in moderation without gaining weight, like that sort of accountability. Maybe not like dropping weight, but let's not gain weight. If that makes sense. Because people still, I know for me, I still want pie on Thanksgiving. Like, I still want to enjoy my Christmas treats, and everyone else does too. So letting people know that that's allowed might draw them more to you than just saying it's your typical like challenge group type of thing. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I have about that.
Cool. Awesome. Okay. Do you guys have any questions about any of that stuff? We just kind of threw a lot at you. So any questions or anything? No? Okay, cool. All right. So what I wanted to talk about today is something you guys have heard about, but it's all about the basics. And we feel like one of the best things that you can do to move your business forward is really consistency with the little things. And the way to kind of track that and to know that you are being consistent is with the BAT, with the Business Activity Tracker. We have one that Allie put together that's similar to the one that Beachbody has, but also a little bit different. We switched it up a little bit to kind of be a little more tailor-made to kind of what we share and what we promote. And so you can find that in the Team Empower Facebook page under the files, and you scroll down, and it is called, what did you name it, Al? I think Team Empower. Let's see. Yeah, BAT Team Empower. Oh, hi, Coog. Holy cow, scared the crap out of me. Okay. So we wanted to kind of talk about that and why it's important. Because a lot of times, because honestly, the BAT's not fun. It's kind of like the last thing in the world that you want to worry about when it's like, well, I have, 15 other things to do. And a lot of those things are a lot more fun than what's on the BAT. But really it's the consistency with the BAT and with the small things, planting those seeds that then pay off in the end. You might not see them pay off, in the first few weeks or in the first month. But eventually it does come around, and it's tracking your business is the same thing as tracking your food. Especially with the containers, it can be easy to be like, oh, I think I had 2 yellows and a red and then by the end of the day, you have no idea what you've really had. You've most likely totally gone over, and then you're frustrated because you're not getting results. But when you really sit down and you track it, you write it out, it's right in your face as to what you are and are not doing. So we kind of wanted to go over the BAT and why it's important and how to utilize it. I know that everybody kind of does it a little bit differently. I know Stacy Perry, she likes to do a batch of invites on Monday and then continually follow up with them, answer them, connect with them throughout the week. There's other coaches that like to break it up and do, 2 or 3 a day, that type of thing. It really all comes down to, what fits best in your lifestyle, because it's all about making this business fit in your life, not your life fit in this business. So on the BAT, what you can do is you can go ahead and you can print it on out. You can pen and paper it. Can you write on it on the online, Allie? Is it one of those editable ones? However you say it? No, you can't. Okay, just kidding. You can't do it online. You have to print it. Old fashioned, print it and write it down. Pen and paper kind of a thing. So what it is at the very top, it has you just put your name and your rank, and then what your goal is for your advancement of your rank. Now, the business is not all about rank. It's not all about advancement. It's not all about accolades, but it is about having goals. We know in our fitness and nutrition, if we don't have goals, it's hard. Like I was even telling my mom this morning before she left, I'm like, now that I'm done training for my half, I'm like, feel like a lost puppy. Like I don't even know what to do anymore. Like I'm bouncing around doing different things, but it's all about having a goal, whether it's personally or business wise. And so I like that that's up there, that you to focus on where you want to advance to and when, just to kind of have your focus. The first activity or the first thing on your BAT is being a product of the product, drinking Shakeology, doing your workout. Everybody's workouts are going to look different. So like what Katie can do right now is going to be different than what I can do right now. And that's totally cool. Like it's all about owning your journey. I know that, Jessica has something wrong with her leg. And so she's having just to kind of modify and do her own thing. So it's all about owning your journey. And it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be hardcore Shaun T Max 30. And it could be going for a walk. It could be like, I'm focusing on my mental health right now. Being a product of the product, doing the workout the way that you can, and drinking your Shakeology and sharing it with people. Because being able to be that product allows you to have more to talk about. You're not sharing what I know. You're not sharing what Allie says. You're sharing your own experience and from your heart, which is way more genuine than just pushing product. And I like that also in connection to the BAT, and like the first column, it has you take a minute and make a goal for yourself for the whole week. All the way down, there's a goal column. And so for all of these activities, you first set your goal as to what you want your number to be, and then you track it throughout the week. So that's probably your first task when you print out the BAT, is to set your goals for the week, and then being the product of the product. Al, do you have anything to say about that? Hold on, you're muted. Okay, go now. I still can't hear you. Can anybody else hear her? Oh, there you go. Now we can.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Like my stupid phone, you guys. No one can hear me on my phone. Anyway, basically no. But I think being a product of the product in the beginning of my coaching journey, I thought I had to be a perfect product of the product. I feel like in order to like stand as a coach, like for people to view me seriously as a coach, I needed to be a perfect product of the product. And like, I feel like I've learned so much since then that people don't even relate to that. And so showing people, oh my gosh, I gained 10 pounds back, or like, oh, I like binged on Halloween candy or whatever, those sorts of things, and taking that pressure off of me. And I think all of that whole journey needs to happen for everyone. But I feel like the more knowledge I receive of how to coach and people in general, how to communicate with people, and loving myself where I am too, all come together to play a part in being a product of the product. So we say it all the time, and I'm sure you guys are sick of hearing us saying it, but the best thing you can do for your coaching business is to be a real product of the product, not a perfect product of the product, right? Like just be genuine and authentic in who you are. So, but you have to show up. I mean, that's not negotiable, like negotiable. You can't not show up for yourself, because being a coach, yeah, you show up for other people, but you're also showing up for you, like for your health. And so you've got to make sure that you're still showing up, not perfectly, but you're still there, if that makes sense.
Totally. I love that. Okay, cool. So our next column then is personal development. It says read or listen to 10 minutes of personal development. And then at the bottom underneath that, I love it. It says tip, remember personal development is with a purpose, read and apply. So our personal development is all going to look different too. All of our journeys are different, and we know like everybody needs something different at different times. And personal development was honestly something that I totally did not do for probably the first year of coaching. I felt like, who has time for that? Like, I can't stay awake when I'm reading a book. I don't have time to sit down and focus. Like, I just don't have time for that. And I didn't do it. And I really kind of got burned out. And so now personal development is probably one of my tip top priorities. because I know what a difference it makes, not only in my work, but like mentally, emotionally, the energy that I have, the time that I spend with my kids. It makes such a difference. And I know a lot of you have already like embraced personal development way earlier than I ever did, which I love. And it's so important. But I think too, it's important to really pay attention to what it is you're needing in personal development at that time. For me, I guess I'm kind of weird. I'm kind of a feeling person, I guess. But like if I'm feeling kind of like blah and a little burned out, for me, that's when I know I need to go listen to like Sarah Dan or Jen, how do you say Sincero? Is that how you say her last name? She wrote You're a Badass. Like, it's just kind of like that tough love in your face, like pick yourself up and move forward type of a stuff. Like if I need some motivation, that's what I turn to. If I'm already feeling motivated and I'm like, I just need like some feel good stuff, I listen to Brene Brown, or to, The Millionaire Messenger. I love that one too. Or Darren Hardy, like it's all kind of just what you're feeling and what you're needing at that time, but also making sure that it has a purpose. I used to count at the beginning kind of like my scripture study as my personal development. And don't get me wrong, it totally is personal development. It is like a non-negotiable part of my day. However, I feel like if you're wanting it to gear towards your business, it also needs to be business related, instead of just spiritually related, if that makes sense. I feel like they do overlap and they do interconnect. But as far as the back goes and as far as moving your business forward, it's super important to listen to or read 10 minutes of some sort of business growth promoting book or podcast or what's the right word? Book on Audible, whatever that's called. It's not book on tape, book on whatever. So that's kind of my little aha moment with personal development, is that it needs to have a purpose and needs to be geared around what it is that you're struggling with, what it is you feel like you need to hear. For a while, I listened to everything I could about leadership. And then I went into social media, that type of stuff. Really having an intentional purpose with what you're trying to learn and grow and develop in yourself, because you will be amazed at kind of like the barriers that you can hurdle and the walls you can break through once you're being intentional with fueling yourself with things that you need to hear about. So, Al, what do you have to say about that?
My journey was similar to yours. I didn't do personal development ever in the beginning. Counted it as my scripture study or whatever. Because honestly, all growing up, I kind of thought self-help books were like a joke. Like I had never read one, but just the idea of a self-help book I thought was silly. I don't know. And then something that really clicked for me is when I saw myself teaching my kids, and then realized, the question came into my mind, what makes me think I don't need someone to teach me too? And that might seem so obvious to you guys, but when I made that realization that I'm continually growing, and especially doing something I have no idea what to do, like run a business, I really need help in that area. And so that was kind of my first aha. And then my second aha with personal development came with personal development with a purpose. Something funny happened with Sarah. So what Lacey said, personal development with a purpose was a big deal for me. That's when I jumped into social media, learning more about social media, learning more about people, and learning more about organization, which I suck at still. But yeah, that's been the biggest thing that's really had an effect on my whole life, even outside my business. And something I turn to often outside of my business is personal development. So
totally. Well, and I think too, in connection to that, something that I was talking to my son about this weekend, he's in that lame-o preteen, I'm too cool for the world stage, and was just so hormonal and grumpy. And I was trying so hard to talk to him to see what was going on and what the problem was, and which is typical to do it with any teenager, let alone a boy. And I'm like, dude, why are you in such a crappy mood right now? And he just gave me no words. And I'm like, okay, let me ask you this. Have you put anything positive into your brain? Have you listened to any positive music, read any positive books? Or have you just kind of been ho-humming, like watching stupid YouTube clips about football players. Like, have you put anything positive into your body? And he's like, well, I don't know. And I'm like, it's the same thing as if you were to eat chips and candy all week, you'd feel like crap. And it's the same thing with your body and with your mind. If all you hear is all day is mom, 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 or whatever it is you hear, and you're kind of like just trying to deal with life, and you're getting all these messages from people like, this isn't working, or I need help, or I need this, or I need that. Like, you just feel crappy. But if you can fuel your mind with positivity, then it makes a huge difference. So that was my little tidbit. Okay, so the next line or the next category is to reconnect. And I'm going to kind of combine some of them together, because reconnecting and inviting, they can overlap a lot. I know that's something that I've talked to some of you about already, because sometimes they're very distinct and they're very different, and sometimes they are overlapping, and it's kind of like a gray area trying to figure out where it really belongs. But I think that it's super important, and it's something that you guys know that we feel like is really important, that you don't just go out and like cold invite people, but that you really work hard to develop a relationship. And that's kind of the purpose of a like page, or using your personal profile, or a community, or, reaching out to people personally. It looks different for everybody. It's whatever feels right to you. I know that Amy talks to a lot of people like face to face, and, when they're sitting in her chair and she gets to talk to them and build relationships. I don't have that many people across my path that are over the age of 10. So, like that just doesn't work in my world. And so reconnecting with people is so important. And in a way, like I know that I've talked to Katie about this too. It's also something that's so cool, because you walk away with like an even better friend, whether they decide to join you or not. It's so rewarding just to reconnect with people, just to develop those relationships, to rekindle relationships, to get to know how other people are really doing. Which then will lead into you being able to share something that you're passionate about, because you've been a product of the product and you're fueling your mind with personal development. And it allows you to share something that you love, which you can share it. And then if it's a good fit for them, if you can help them solve a problem, then that's what then leads into inviting, whether it's inviting to a challenge group or a free challenge, or to your community, or your like page, or your whatever it is that you're currently inviting to. It becomes more of a natural process. But that it also allows you to fill your heart, because you're connecting with people as well and developing relationships. So Allie's like the queen at doing it, like reconnecting with people. So what do you have to say about that, Al?
I'm not the queen of reconnecting with people. I do enjoy talking to people. I enjoy people. I think it comes down to, like, for me anyways, I just really enjoy a deeper connection, deeper relationship with people. Like, I would rather have a few really close friends than a bunch of different friends, like acquaintances. And so being able to reconnect with someone is an opportunity for me to kind of like get on a deeper level with people, which is important to me, and it fills me. And so it's easier for me. I know some people really struggle knowing how to talk to people, what to say. And if you do struggle with that, that's fine. Like, Beachbody has their whole form process that it was in the training and stuff like that. Another way to reconnect with people, though, you guys, is also through comments. I mean, I think we overlook the power of comments through social media too. Don't forget to comment back to people who comment to you on your page. Like, don't just take time to invest in people. And people love when you comment on their stuff. I mean, how many times do you post something and you go back to say, like, who commented on my post, right? Like, that's important to you to see that people are interested in what you have to say. And it's important to other people and they'll start realizing that you are consistently interested in what they have to offer. And that just opens up more avenues for you to open up an actual conversation with them. And so there's value in commenting and supporting. One of the vitals is recognition, right? And by commenting on someone's stuff, you're recognizing them and what they have to say. And so that's just, I think I overlooked that in the beginning, as that being a powerful tool to start a friendship or reconnecting with someone. So
totally. I love that. Okay, so the next one is social media. And For those of you that were at Summit this year, you know that, Chalene Johnson talked about how social media is changing, how it's different than it was a year ago. And it is. I mean, social media is always changing. It seems like and it's all generational too, like right now, the cool thing with the younger kids, I've never even heard of before. But it's important to remember that and ask yourself, where is my target market going to be? Is she going to be on Instagram? Is she going to be on Facebook? Is she going to be on Pinterest? Like wherever it is that she is, and then kind of pick that social media platform that feels the most comfortable to you. And then also that kind of targets the girl that you want to talk to. We found Facebook to be the easiest and the most successful. But the thing that the key thing that's important is one, like Allie was talking about, that you show up, that people see what you're doing. It's not all about pushing product. It's the fact that you have a platform to stand on. Like you have a product to stand on, but that's not your message. But that you show up and you share your message. And whatever it is that your message is, everybody has a different one because it's all about your journey and what you've learned and what you feel passionate about. And so if you're able to show up on social media and share your message, when it's time to invite people, that's when it once again becomes more natural as well, because people have seen that you're adding value. They want to see what you have to say. There's a few people in my newsfeed that I will literally stop whatever I'm doing and I will read, even if it's a super long post, just because I want to know what's going on in her life, because I like what she has. I connect with her. And your goal is to be that person for the girl you want to work with, and to remember that you don't have to be that person for everybody. You just don't, and you're not going to be. It took me a long time to kind of embrace that and to be okay with being specific into, who it was that I wanted to help and who it was that I could help. And being specific with my posts in making sure they were focused towards that person, and knowing I wasn't going to make everybody happy, and that was okay. But as long as you show up consistently on the platform of your choice, sharing your message, sharing value, whether it's, a laugh, a smile, a motivation, motivational something, whatever it is that's on your heart, that's when people will know that they want to follow you. And it's not all about shoving your story into somebody's face all in once. It's about little piece by little piece. And something that I've talked to some of you about too is when I approach posting, I always ask myself two things. One, what did I feel in this moment that I'm about to post about? And two, what did I learn? And if I can answer at least one of those questions, then that's what I talk about. Or I talk about both of them if it applies. But that's what's helped me a lot to be able to focus in on adding value, is focusing on either one, what did I feel, or two, what did I learn? Because that's what kind of allows people to walk in your shoes for a minute and know that if you can do it, then maybe they could possibly try and do it too. And that's the beauty of social media, is it gives you that opportunity to have a wider audience to hear the message that you have to share. But it is all about showing up consistently. So, Al, what do you have to say about that?
Social media or posting for me has definitely been an evolution, because when I first started, the only thing I ever posted about was my kids. Never posted about me, or my feelings, that was definitely something that I had to learn as I went and kind of found my way forward. Something that I've done to really help me kind of start posting about myself is I would think, what would I write in my journal today? And that was a big kind of switch for me, because then I started reflecting on, first of all, I wasn't a huge journal keeper, okay? And so when I thought of the idea of keeping a journal, what's important to me that happened today, and then how would I express it, like privately to myself, like in my journal, that really helped me to be able to craft posts in a way that were relatable, that I could emotionally connect with people, because I was being real with myself. So that's like a thought process I go through a lot, is, how would I express this in my journal, or to Lacey, or to my mom, someone that was really close to me that I wanted to share my feelings with. So Lacey had mentioned earlier that Facebook is a platform we chose in the beginning. It was, and it is. It works great for us. As I kind of reflect on the platforms I utilize most now, it's Instagram. I usually always open Instagram first. We haven't really branched out to Instagram because we don't know how. Like we've tried kind of to hold an account, but the platforms are different. Like the way that you share your journey on each platform is going to be different. There are really successful coaches on Instagram, but we really haven't done any personal development or studying on that. And so if that's something that interests you, you could look into that as well. It really is hard to do two at once. I found like we get burned out easily that way. I feel like finding one platform and sticking with it until you can kind of master it and move on is the best way to go. So.
Totally. Yep, I agree. Your next one is to add to your list. Now, the reason why this is important is so you're not talking to the same people over and over and over and over. You want to talk to those people, but you also need to have new eyes looking at your stuff. So you can continue to expand your message. It's kind of like, you want to be a river. You want to continually be giving and, spreading your heart instead of a pond. If you're a pond, you're just going to, hold on to your little tiny core group of people and continue to add to them, which is important, but it's also important to expand so you can continue to share your message. So if you're not adding to your list, whether it be, meeting new people face to face and saying, hey, let's connect, on social media, or finding friends of friends or people that you've known before and you've lost contact with, adding people to your community, running ads for your like page, however it is that you choose to add to your list. Once again, it looks different for everybody, but it is super important that you continue to get more eyes looking at what you're doing, so your message doesn't stall, so you can continue to broaden what you have to give and to continue to find those people that need to hear it. Al, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, so right now, adding to our list, Lacey, you do run Facebook ads, but at the beginning, I remember thinking, I don't have anyone else to talk to. I've talked to everyone. My friends list is super small. Who else should I talk to? Who else do I add to the list? So something we've talked about this before, but you can add friends of friends. Like you can go to your mutual friends and add those people. At first I thought that was kind of creepy, but then once I did it, I was like, oh, well, you don't have to accept my friend request if they don't want to. I try to make sure when I do send a bunch of friend requests, because I kind of do it not every day, but like one day I'll send out a bunch. So I make sure that my page looks good before I send the friend request. Is this content something because someone's going to check me out before they accept my friend request. So I try to make sure my page looks good, send friend requests to mutual friends. And then something else that I've done too is that when I tag someone in a post, like my husband, especially my husband, because he's kind of in a world separate to mine. I don't really know the people he works with. And so that's like a whole bunch of people that I could be friends with, right? So whenever I tag him in a post and people like it, I always send them a friend request. And usually they accept because they're friends with my husband or something like that. Or if you friend someone from high school, like a memory popped up and you tag someone, we're underutilizing friends of our clients too. If you shout out a client and people are telling them congratulations, stuff like that, that's a friend request that you could send to. So yeah, those are just different ways that you can add people to your list.
And you can also utilize it too, instead of just adding them. Once they accept once somebody accepts my request, I like to send them a message and just say, thank you so much for accepting my request. I'm so excited to get to know you. And I'll look at their page and see, like, maybe they went to Disneyland, maybe they, or just say, it looks like you had so much fun in Disneyland. Did you love it? And like end it with a question so they have something to respond to, but also thank them for accepting my request, and kind of just start to build a relationship. Some may respond, some may not. But that's also where you can, like I was saying, utilize, the power of comments. Go and check them out. Maybe like some of their pictures, maybe comment on something. Just kind of get to know them a little bit instead of just having them be some random person that's watching you. You can start to kind of develop a little bit of a relationship with them. And then last but not least, it's unplug. This is so easy to allow yourself to get so busy, not only with the business, but just with like life in general, that a lot of times we need to be reminded to like unplug, like shut off the phone, turn off social media, stop scrolling Pinterest. I used to think my unplugged time was sitting on the couch while my husband was watching a show and me scrolling Pinterest. And then I kept like scrolling thinking like, I'll just stop when I get to the bottom. There's no bottom to Pinterest, and then you like are thinking, oh, I'm going to find something exciting to look at. And you just end up closing it just even more empty and tired than you were before. It's like, just shut it down and just relax, read a book or talk to your husband or go to sleep or take a bath or just unplug for just 10 minutes, no technology, and just relax. Like for me, I guess this technically isn't like unplugging, but for me, like when I sit down and I watch This Is Us, I do not bring my phone with me. I wait till my kids are in bed because I am not pushing pause. And I just like let myself get lost in it. Like that is time that I just don't even care. The world could burn. I don't care. I'm sitting there and enjoying my show. And so finding something that allows you just to like disconnect and relax for a few minutes is so important, because we have so many areas that we give in. And then just to add coaching on top of it, it's another area that's so rewarding, but it also requires a lot of us. And so being able to unplug and refuel and relax and reconnect with your family or your husband or your friends is huge. And it will allow you to then have more of you to give to them. So we feel like unplugging is huge daily. So Al, any thoughts on that?
Not any more than what you said, other than I think it's super important. It was harder for me to unplug as a new coach than it is now. As a new coach, I felt like so much pressure, and I still was kind of in this like deciding area. What do I want to do, and how do I want to approach this business? And I feel like I really had to. There was no balance for me. I feel like I was just all coaching all the time, and which really led to me not wanting to coach, to be honest. If you yeah. So it's kind of like being a mom when you're a mom all day, and at the end of the day your husband comes home and you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm so done, right? And it's kind of the same with coaching for me. I never unplugged, and I ended up not liking it. Like I really, in order for me to fall back in love with coaching, I needed to learn to disconnect and set boundaries for myself. And then that's when coaching became fun for me again. Because there was a time, you guys, when I was like, oh, I hate this. Like no one's participating, and I hate reconnecting with people, and I hate inviting people and hearing no. There are a lot of hard things to coaching. And I realized two things. One, I wasn't doing my personal development. I wasn't filling me up. And that's why unplugging is so important, because you're filling yourself up. Like it's the same thing as personal development. You've got to get away and disconnect. At least for me, that was a really big thing for me to like find my footing again and fall back in love with coaching. I needed to learn to disconnect. So, yeah.
Totally. Well, and I like how you said set boundaries. Like you set your boundaries. Don't let your clients or social media or whatever set your boundaries for you. Like you set your boundaries. You're not a Walmart. You're not open 24/7. Like you be a Target. You close when you decide you want to close and sell really cool stuff like from Chip and Joanna. So you are not a Walmart. You can set your boundaries. You can decide when you do and you do not work. So anyway, all of that is just a rundown on the bat. That's what those things are. That's what they look like. And it's all about setting your goal at the beginning of the week. How many of those are you going to do daily? Are you going to invite 2 to 3 people a day? Or are you going to invite a batch of people? Or, how is it that you're going to do it? And then go ahead and track what it is that you are doing daily. So by the end of the week, you can see where you're at, what you're doing, where you're excelling, where you need to progress, where you can spend a little more time, where you can spend a little less time. Sit down and track it, because you will see a huge change in your business. This is what was a total game changer for Leanne. Like this is what she knocked it out of the park when she started using her bat. Like her Success Club points went way up. Her everything went up. She killed it. And it's because of the consistency with the small things, because you don't really know what you're doing until you stop and you track it and see what really is happening. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, because that really is going to be the biggest game changer in growing your business, is utilizing the BAT. So once again, it's in the Team Empower Facebook page under files towards the bottom. Print it out and use it, because it definitely will help. So Al, any other thoughts?
No, are there any questions? It doesn't even have to be about the BAT. Just like any questions or anything you want to say.
I have about 1.5 million questions about your Vegas weekend thing.
It's going to be so cool. And Allie's stressed out of her mind about it, but it's seriously going to be cool. March 15th to the 17th here in Vegas. We are bringing in a bunch of awesome other like entrepreneurial moms to speak, to do activities, to share their journey, to, like we were talking about, use their platform to stand on, but to share their message. So our focus is kind of like a timeout for mom, and to go to like get away, to relax, to connect with other women, to be edified, and be ready to jump back into the trenches again when they get home. We have some like fun activities that we're going to be doing that are just going to like make you giggle and have so much fun. And it's going to be amazing. It's going to be so fun. And Allie's like so stressed, but that's kind of like what we're doing.
Not stressed out of my mind about it.
Okay.
So my big question is, like hotels. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to round up like 5 friends to like jump in my van and all of us drive out there.
Mm-hmm.
So like, should we just book our own stuff? Like, how's food going to work? Are you even like at that point that you know what's going on with all of that yet?
Right. So what it is we have a venue. It's not right on the strip, but it's super close. We've contracted 25 rooms with them. And so the first 25 people that want rooms will get the discounted rate through the hotel, that's where we're staying, because it's literally like right there by the venue. They offer breakfast, so your breakfast will be taken care of. And then we will be letting out for like lunch and dinner. So you guys can choose your own lunch or bring your own snacks. I'm hoping to do like some sort of grab bags, but the hotel's being weird about food. And anyway, that's a long story. And then we'll be done by like 5 every evening. So you guys can go to a show, you can go to dinner, you can do whatever it is you want. So there's some like fun, like girl time too. So yes, so there are rooms available at a discounted rate if you want them, or you can do your own thing.
There's 2 queens in each room.
What?
There's one.
2 queens in each room.
Yep, 2 queens in each room.
Do you know how much, like what the cost will be for the hotel room?
It's $144 a night.
A night. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay. Yay.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Any other questions or anything? No? Good. Okay, cool. All right. Well, thank you for being here. You guys are awesome. Next Monday, I do not know if we are having a call. Ellie and I need to talk about that, because we are going to both be out of town. So we'll keep you posted. So have a good night, guys, and we'll see you on the team page. So,
bye.
Bye.